my analysis and reflection on women in computer science at the University of Waterloo, affiliated with the David Sheridan School of Computer Science. This presentation is structured to navigate through the history and background of WiCS, my direct involvement within the organization, and a critical examination through organization perspectives and organization communication ideas. Let's begin by tracing the history and background of WiCS. WiCS advocates for gender equity within the computing field to foster an inclusive and supportive environment for women and women plus communities. It has a dual structure. Firstly, it has faculty committee, also known as Big WiCS, which was established in 2007 and is headed by the chair or the director of WiCS. It also has the undergraduate committee, also known as Little WiCS, founded in 2014, where the Little WiCS works at the undergraduate level to support students. In 2015, the organization's leadership has been pivotal, with the chair or the director of WiCS contributing directly to executive levels to school decisions, thus having a profound impact on policies related to gender diversity in computer science. WiCS leads various efforts to close the gender gap within UWCS by hosting speaker panels, running mentorship programs, and providing networking opportunities and more. Here is a quick overview of the organizational structure. We have Big WiCS, headed by the director of WiCS, includes the finance director, co-op, WiCS co-op, and other esteemed faculty members, and Little WiCS, which is headed by the undergrad chair and includes the secretary, director of finance and publicity, first-year reps, and other positions. I also want to quickly describe and highlight my personal involvement within this organization. I have served 4 terms on the undergraduate committee. My journey started as the director of publicity. I served twice as chair and most recently as director of finance. Love WiCS, and I'm super excited to talk more about it as we go through this presentation. Analyze WiCS through the functional lens. What is the functional approach? The functional approach in organizational communication zeroes in on the efficacy of information flow within an organization, scrutinizing how communication underpins operations, informs decision making, and orchestrates coordination effects. Applying the functional approach to WiCS, we see a well-defined communication framework that supports its structure and goals. Downward communication flows from the faculty committee to the undergraduate committee, relaying policy updates and organizational objectives, while upward communication carries feedback on budgets and event insights from undergraduates to the faculty members through a beginning of term, end of term meetings, monthly WiCS meetings, and team dinners. Lateral communication fosters collaboration within and between committees. Within the undergrad committee, the undergrad chair and committee members talk to each other about event plans, budgets, and hiring strategies in weekly undergraduate meetings and group chats. Similarly, the director of WiCS communicates with its faculty members about research fundings, policies, programs, and concerns through monthly WiCS meetings and other internal meeting rituals. WiCS also has a formal and informal modes of communication, both primarily intended for audience outside of the WiCS committee. Formal modes of communication include official meetings, newsletters, events, and published documents and articles on websites. Informal modes of communication includes posts and stories on social media and peer-to-peer discussions through office hours and/or Discord and Slack channels. So, how does the functional approach come together to build the transactional process? Let's begin by defining what the transaction process is. The transactional process model recognizes communication as a dynamic exchange where participants are continuously engaged as both senders and receivers, shaping the conversation with context and ongoing feedback. WiCS employs ongoing nature of communication through feedback loops that undergraduate faculty committing engage in continuous dialogue to develop shared meanings while also incorporating input from external audience through event feedback forms. The context of communication within WiCS is pivotal. It's upheld as a safe space where concerns and ideas can be freely exchanged without barriers, where WiCS charges no club fee, and all students of Waterloo, no matter their gender, are welcome to attend WiCS events, truly embodying inclusivity. Additionally, participants are not mere event organizers. They are active contributors, engaging as speakers and volunteers, which underscores the model's emphasis on the active and reciprocal roles of communication participants within the organization. WiCS employs some forms of strategic control. Here's a quick definition. Strategic control model views communication as a deliberate tool to influence perceptions and direct the organizational environment towards specific goals. WiCS actively shape its internal culture by celebrating members' accomplishments and fostering a supportive community where shared success stories stimulate growth. As noted by Cornel Core, the sense of belonging within WiCS echoes a family-like sisterhood, a testament to its nurturing and cohesive environment. Next, let's look at influencing external perceptions, which not only shapes its own community but also extends influence externally by establishing strategic partnerships with major tech companies and advocating for gender diversity, which garners significant recognition within the tech industry. As Kitty Lee shares, being associated with WiCS notably elevates one's profile, illustrating the respect and esteem that involvement with WiCS commands in professional circles. Lastly, WiCS aligns its goals and actions by hosting events like algorithm trading workshops with tech giants such as the Hudson Bay Trading, which enhance technical skills, bubble tea chats with BAM for networking, and pumpkin carving sessions that nurture mentorship and a sense of community, all geared towards increasing engagement and support for women in computer science. So, tying it all together, WiCS communication is strategic, not manipulative. It's about stewarding a vision that benefits all. The organization's adept use of strategic communication fosters a robust environment that supports its goals and empowers its members, reinforcing the importance of strategic control and achieving equitable and inclusive outcomes in the field of computer science. Meaning centered approach. The meaning centered approach views communication as the cornerstone of creating organizational culture and crafting a collective reality through shared narratives and practices. WiCS anchors shared meanings by hosting WiCSCon, a convergence that celebrates women's achievements in STEM and personal growth while fostering skill development through technical workshops. Through open forums and digital platforms, WiCS empowers members to shape the organization's journey, ensuring decision making reflects the community's collective will. Thirdly, there is a sense of sense making through WiCS Bubbles, which is a mentorship initiative that pairs newcomers with experienced students, nurturing a supportive network that combats imposter syndrome and fosters deep connections within the CS community. Lastly, WiCS collaboration with faculty to infuse diversity and inclusion into the CS curriculum influences wider culture, enhancing policies, outreach, and scholarship opportunities. Now let's look at WiCS through a critical approach. The critical approach scrutinizes power dynamics and equity within organizational communication, challenging the status quo to advocate for inclusivity and democratic change. WiCS was established as a proactive response to systemic inequalities within the computer science community at the University of Waterloo, challenging the traditional male-dominated power structures in academia and tech industry. By institutionalizing roles and committees focused on gender parity, WiCS confronts and seeks to reshape long-standing institutional power dynamics. The organization dedicates effort to bring computer science opportunities to genders traditionally underrepresented in the field, addressing privilege and advocating for justice. WiCS hosts exclusive industry events with leading tech firms, creating spaces where underrepresented genders in tech can connect and advance. Lastly, embodying its mission for inclusion and diversity, WiCS actively disrupts the status quo of the computer science field, advocating for transformative change. The direct involvement of WiCS's director in decision making at the school level exemplifies the organization's commitment to critiquing and redefining norms, fostering a new era of equity and inclusion within academic and professional communities, where we describe the organizational theory at WiCS. The most prevalent organization theory applied to WiCS is the human resources approach. The human resources approach in organizational theory emphasizes creating a supportive work environment that values employee engagement, participation, dialogue, and personal growth. Let's talk about employee participation and dialogue. Through this testimony, Kitty Lee, the former chair of WiCS, emphasizes the responsibility she carried as the WiCS co-chair to foster a participatory culture within the committee and the broader community. Her efforts to solicit active feedback and encourage open communication post events are exemplary of the member participation and dialogue central to the human resources approach. This engagement strategy not only improved individual and collective experiences, but also enhanced the cohesiveness and efficiency of the WiCS committee. Next, let's talk about employee growth and development. Kitty Lee recounts WiCS' significant role in bolstering her professional and personal development through active participation and networking within organizational events. Her involvement provided her opportunities like attending the prestigious Grace Hopper Conference and enhancing her understanding of empathy, leadership, and camaraderie. This testimony exemplifies the human resources approach, focusing on employee growth and development as integral to organizational success. Lastly, let's look at the alignment of a human resources approach with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The human resources approach cultivates an environment that fosters a sense of belonging and encourages employees towards self actualization in engagement with organizational objectives. TTV highlights this in practice at WiCS, where members' unique roles and the opportunity to lead events contribute to their personal and professional development. This approach directly correlates with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, particularly emphasizing the fulfillment of esteem and self actualization needs within the WiCS community. Putting it all together, we exemplifies the human resources approach by fostering an environment that values every member's input, encouraging personal and professional development, and aligning individual achievements with communal goals. Testimonials like Kitty Lee's illustrate this commitment, showcasing WICS's dedication to creating a space where belonging and self actualization are integral to its mission of gender equity in computing. Although not dominant, Wix employs other organizational theory aspects such as classical management, scientific management, systems thinking, and human relations. Wix applies the principles of classical management, focusing on efficiency and a clear hierarchical structure, as evidenced by Kitty Lee's reflection on her role as a co chair, where streamlined decision making and well defined roles within the committee led to effective coordination and accountability. This established role allows each member to act with authority in their designated functions, contributing to Wix's ability to achieve its goal efficiently. Scientific management. WICS integrates scientific management principles by utilizing template documents for events and interviews. As Kitty Lee notes, streamlining processes and reducing overhead for new committee transitions. However, the challenge arises from the lack of updates to these documents, risking the quality and authenticity of the process, as Lee observes with repeated interview responses diluting the intended rigor. Systems thinking. System thinking in organizational theory emphasizes the importance of each part of the organization, advocating for a holistic view where interconnected roles and responsibilities enable rapid adaptation to environmental changes. This approach is evident in how WICS event planners, publicity directors, finance directors, and secretaries collaborate seamlessly for event success, and how the organization adapted during 2019 to balance institutional requirements with community needs. Last but not the least, the human relations approach. The human relations approach prioritizes employee well being, motivation, and group dynamics, aiming to build strong interpersonal relations within the organization. Lee's testimony reflects this approach to WICS's emphasis on personal conversations and shared experiences, fostering a supportive community akin to sisterhood and extending beyond the formal roles to create lasting friendships. Organizational culture at WICS. Beginning with metaphors, Wix is often depicted as a sisterhood, creating a familial bond among members, and as a safe space, promoting a secure and supportive environment. Second, we have stories. Kitty Lee speaks to the culture of Wix, emphasizing growth through reflection and learning from experiences, mirroring a narrative where setbacks become stepping stones for development. Third, we have rituals. Regular activities like weekly meetings, executive social dinners, and end of term and beginning of term meetings are rituals that reinforce the community structure and rhythm of Wix. Fourth, artifacts. Tangible system symbols like company sponsored goods, Wix branded socks, shirts, and tote bags serve as a physical representation of the community's identity and belonging. Next, we have heroes. Figures like Professor Joanne Attlee, who is the current director of WICS, celebrated for her achievement wherein she was awarded the Most Powerful Woman title by the Women's Executive Network in 2023, stand as role models embodying the aspiration and values that WICS encourages. Lastly, we have values. WICS champions core values such as gender equity, inclusion, collaboration, and continuous learning, which are foundational to its mission and activities. Lastly, let's talk about organizational identity at WICS. Organizational identity is defined by how our affiliations and experiences within an organization shape our self perception and how others perceive us. Self concept within an organization is derived from our interaction with others, the roles we assume, our group affiliation, and our internal self reflection and dialogue. WICS nurtures a community where social events catalyze interactions that shape members' self perceptions and perceived capabilities in the tech field. Second, as roles, organization offers varied roles from volunteers to committee leaders, enabling members to build competence and assert their leadership and expertise. Third, as group affiliations, membership in WICS, a well regarded entity in tech, offers individuals a prestigious affiliation that enhances their professional self concept and external perception. Fourth, self talk, encouraging positive self talk through success stories and a culture of celebrating achievements, WICS supports a reflective and affirming internal dialogue among its members. So, putting it all together, WiCS exemplifies a comprehensive approach to organizational development, intertwining systems of management, culture, identity, and human relations to create a dynamic and inclusive environment that fosters growth, community, and innovation in the field of computer science. Here are my references, and thank you very much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.